What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. So, Kawhi Leonard. Now, my sources were telling me that he would have came back, probably for tonight's game against the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, I'm hearing different news about Kawhi Leonard's injury update, and everything is still going well as far as his practicing and everything, full participant and everything like that. But I feel like they're just being, more precautious with Kawhi. And then it could raise questions, of course, amongst fans that are they being too overly precautious with Kawhi? Or are they being precautious too much? You know what I mean? You can look at it from a different multitude of ways. But in this instance, the more logical comeback for him is not the road trip that they have. It's after the road trip that they're going to have, in which it'll be the game against the Golden State Warriors, which is a home game they'll have, I think, on the 27th. I think it's Friday coming up, so which will be after Christmas, the holidays and stuff like that. So we'll have to see exactly how that works and how that pans out. But at the same time, it is looking like the Golden State Warriors game is within sights. And that would be a good game for him to come back, especially right before the new year, get him a little acclimated a little bit more back into the starting lineup, get him going and getting him, more comfortable, how he was before he stopped playing basketball. Because before he stopped and everything with his injuries, he was looking like the best player in the league last year. I mean, really, especially for like a 30, 40 game stretch, it didn't look like no player in the league was even close to his level. And the way he had the Clippers playing at that elite level, I mean, it just showed how great Kawhi Leonard is still and what he still can present as a problem to other teams or opposing teams that plays against the Clippers when he's on the floor. So I want to see exactly how he looks. Of course, I'm anticipating like a lot of other people, and it's no doubt there. But I definitely understand that they're trying to be precautious with Kawhi because they know the severity of Kawhi's injuries and how much Kawhi has, suffered injuries, and they definitely want to be as comfortable as possible. But there is a such thing as being overly too cautious. I mean, you got to get him back out there. You got to get him going because practice is one thing, but being in the real game is another. And he has to, have that, those reps. He has to have those reps. He has to have that physicality. He has to go through that again to really see how the knee is, really see how his body feels, really see, what he needs to see out of himself and what he can expect from himself going forward and, what he can do and what limitations he might have now, or hypothetically, he has no limitations, which would be even better. But the Clippers got to take that chain off his neck and let him go because really the Clippers have done really good up to this point to keep things afloat. I think they're 16 and 13. They're holding it down in the Western Conference, which is, tough. Any conference be tough, but especially without your superstar. Having him on the floor definitely makes it easier, for you and everything like that. Of course, if you're trying to win and play at the highest level. So anytime you don't have your superstar, it's tough. But I mean, it's doable to the point where you can maintain and stay afloat. And the Clippers have done a great job staying afloat and maintaining what they've been doing, playing very good defense, being very feisty on defense and, trying to find ways to get offense. And they have with Norman Powell playing at the highest his game has ever been. And James Harden is still staying afloat as a James Harden we kind of knew of him as. Maybe not quite the James Harden he once was, but he's not asked to do that at this point. And at this point in his career, he doesn't need to do that because that's really not who he is. He's a great second star, complimentary star to another superstar player like a Kawhi Leonard. And if healthy, I think they're definitely a formidable team that can give anybody a run. I'm thinking even a team like Dallas, because a lot of people might have Dallas going to the finals again. And rightfully so. Dallas is definitely the last team you've seen make the finals against the Celtics. And a lot of people think that's going to be a repeat finals from last year. So, I mean, I'm not, refuting that by any means in regards to they were the last team we see go to the finals from the Western Conference. So, but hopefully with the Clippers being healthy, they can have something to say about that is what I'm saying. And I definitely think they would if Kawhi is healthy, because even though I think Klay Thompson and, Kyrie are very good and they're great players along with Luka, I think there's a lot of chinks in their armor that I believe the Clippers can expose, especially with their defensive ways. And I definitely like what the Clippers have, against a team like that and any other team in the Western Conference, because I think they match up very well with teams in the Western Conference when they're healthy and when they can all be put together. Because if the Clippers are a good defensive team now, that means they'll be a great defensive team with Kawhi Leonard on the floor. So that right there says a lot about the team. But hopefully, Kawhi Leonard comes back, against the Golden State Warriors. That'll be good. Like I said, get him going again, get his body right, and get everything, to the point where it needed. So going into next year, the official next year, now you got Kawhi playing. Now you're starting to get that gel with the other teammates. Now you starting to build that chemistry is exactly what they need going into the new year of Kawhi being there and build something within the next couple months before they have to make a run and it gets real going into the playoffs. Because, as I said before, this team right here, I like what they have with Kawhi Leonard. And I don't know why I say this. Well, I do know why I say this, but I really think they could be a better team playoff-wise than I think they ever was probably with Paul George on the team. I really do think that, because they got a bunch of guys who are scrappy and a bunch of guys who just get after it. You got somebody like Norman Powell who can drop 20, 25 points any game, any day of the week. James Harden can do the same thing with 10-plus assists. If they keep getting good contributions out of Zubac, they'll be fine. Maybe look into a big man in trade deadline. That'll be good. An extra big body in there. Maybe you could trade Mo Bamba or something like that and get another big man, maybe a little bit more formidable, give away some picks and get, a formidable big man to kind of back up Zubac, kind of like what they had in Isaiah Hartenstein, somebody like that, and just go from there. I think that'd be about the only thing they would need, honestly, to kind of give them more well-roundedness as a team and give them more opportunities at, rebounds, getting extra shots, getting extra opportunities. And, they got some young guys that can push on the fast breaks and stuff like that. And hopefully Kawhi can still push on the fast breaks as well as he always done. And then they can get easy points, and then they can set up for, half-court basketball, which is what you'll need going into the playoffs, playing that half-court style. And they can do that with James Harden and Kawhi because they got two isolation players that are deadly. So, when you look at their combination, their totality, a lot of teams are not going to be able to deal with that in a 7-game series. So, just get Kawhi back on the floor as soon as possible, and we hope that he stays healthy, and we hope the rest of the season goes well for him along with the Clippers and take it into the playoffs and see what happens.